So Retro Circuit's got their new N64 boards coming out soon. So I'm just going to make a quick video showing how you can program the board and make sure that your ROMs are ready. So I got a few ROMs right here, and you see that they have different file formats. You got Z64, N64, and V64. So I'm going to use this utility right here. It's just called Tool64 to check the ROMs and make sure they're in the right format. So you go ahead and start that up. Click this button right over here and select the directory that your ROMs are in. I just got them in the N64 folder. And here you can take a look at the file name, the extension type, and the byte order. So in order for these to run on the board, they have to be in the big Endian format. So you can see right here I have one that's in Little Endian and a byte swapped V64 file. So converting these is pretty easy. You just go ahead, you select all the ones that you want. Then we're going to go to change byte order. And just tell them the big Endian. And there you go, you can see that now they're all Z64 format in big Endian format. So now they're ready to program to the boards. And this application will make backup files before it reorganizes the ROM for you. I don't need those, so I'm just going to go ahead and delete. And programming ROM is very easy. So I'm going to go ahead and power on the programmer. And it's going to come over here and just registers as a flash drive. So if you take a look at it, there's a CFI data file. Just leave that alone. Not sure exactly what that's used for. I think on the future versions they might hide that file. So in order to program it, all you do is just drag and drop a ROM over. So let's go ahead and take Banjo-Tooie here. Copy it, come over to the drive, and paste that in there. Now it does take a few minutes to copy over, so I'm going to go ahead and speed up the video, and I'll come back to you when that's done. Alright, that didn't take too long. Now we got Banjo-Tooie programmed to the board. Now let's go ahead and power cycle this. And you can see after you put the board back in, it's always going to come up with the max file size of that board. And if you want to erase the game and program something else to it, you just take this file right here, flash.z64, and delete. So it's going to take a few minutes to delete, so I'll come back to you in a moment. Okay, Windows says it's done deleting the file, but the activity light's still lit up on the programmer, and it hasn't reconnected to the computer yet. So don't do anything just yet, wait for it to finish up erasing. Okay, now the activity light turned off on the programmer, and it's reloaded, and you can see that it has 64 megs free again. So we can open that up, and we see that flash.z64 is now gone. And if you want to program something else to it, say Conker's Bad Fur Day, just go ahead, drag and drop that. So this is a 64 megabyte game, the largest that N64 games can go up to. So let's go ahead and let that program. And there you go, just takes a few minutes. Now we've got Conker's Bad Fur Day on our board. And let's go ahead, power cycle to the programmer one more time. And if you want, you can even copy this back over off the cartridge on your computer. And the ROM chip does read a little bit faster than in programs. And there we go, now we got the ROM dumped off the cartridge. And if you really want to, you can even run a file comparer on them. So shift and right click, open command window, and FC is the file compare command. Set the binary flag and type in your files. Flash, hit Z to finish it up, or hit tab key, that'll automatically complete the file name for you. So file compare, binary files, flash at Z64, and Conker's Bad Fur Day. No file differences encountered. So we were able to program the ROM and read it back correctly. Now the programmer has been tested with Windows XP, Windows 7, Windows 8.1, 10, and I even went ahead and tested out a few different Linux distributions. I tested out Ubuntu, Mint, Fedora, and a new one that I hadn't heard of until recently. I think it's called Elementary OS. And so far everything worked great. Only thing that we had a problem with was on 8.1 and Windows 10 you had to disable the indexing service. Otherwise you would run into a few problems when you try to program your ROM. So I'm going to go ahead, fire up my virtual machine of Windows 10, and I'll show you how to take care of that and the error that you might encounter if you forget to turn off the indexing service. So I'll be right back. Alright, so now we got the Windows 10 virtual machine loaded up. Let's go ahead and try to program a ROM. And this is the problem that we were running into. The volume of the file, blah blah blah. So it's not going to let us write. So let's see what happens. So give the device a power cycle. And now it's showing that we got a flash.z64, even though it appeared that we didn't write anything. So this is actually being caused by the Windows indexing service. So here's what we got to do. Let's go ahead and turn that off. From your start menu, type in services, or just the first couple letters. Click on that. And scroll all the way to the bottom. And Windows Search is what we want. So we're going to go ahead, go to Properties. And for the startup type where it says Automatic Delayed Start, make sure you change that to Disabled. Because if you stop the process while it has that automatic startup, it's going to restart in the background without even telling you. So startup type, I'm going to set to Disable, stop the service from running, hit Apply. And now we've disabled the Windex search. Alright, so now we can go ahead and delete that file. And it's going to take a minute to delete, so I'll come back to you in a moment. Okay, and this error message down the bottom right, that is normal. Get that every time you erase something on this board. So green light is still lit on the programmer. Just give it a little bit more time to finish erasing and reconnect to the computer. Alright, there we go. Now we got blank drive reconnected. So let's try programming something else. I think this time I'm going to do Mario Kart 64. And we'll let that process run, and we'll come back to you in a moment. And there you go, now we're able to program the board. So if you got Windows 8.1 or Windows 10 and you're getting any errors that come up while you're trying to program the drive, go ahead and stop your index service, and they should be all good to go from there on out. Alright, now I got the boards programmed, figure I'll show them running in the N64. So first up going to be Mario Kart. And the sound does work, I just have my TV muted.
Next, this one should be, what do we got here? Looks like this is going to be Mario 64. And as you can see, I've been playing this one a little bit. You've got a game save on there. And last one should be Conker's Bad Fur Day. And there you go. That's really all there is to it. Just buy the programmer, a few blank boards, and you can program your own N64 games.